Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Teams Recap. We're not actually focusing on teams today, and we're not really recapping too much of anything. We're looking to the future, and I have a special guest with me today to do that looking and talk a bit about what's coming. Anna Chu. Anna, will you please introduce yourself and tell us how you're connected to Microsoft Ignite?
Yeah, so very happy to talk to you today, Josh. It's been a little while,
It
but
has.
yes, I I am the community lead for Microsoft Ignite, and I know many of you have put in some amazing submissions for the call for content, call for community champions, as well as auditioning for the call for community reporters. So I have some exciting news to share, actually.
Awesome. And it's good timing news because people are probably wondering after they've seen you on so many other blogs and podcasts and webcasts out there talking about this, why are we still talking about this now after August 4th? So please
Mhm.
share.
So I'm pleased to announce we're extending the deadline by a week because I know many of you have very busy schedules. You've got a lot of work and commitments going on. So we're giving you an extra week to fine tune and work on your submissions. We've seen an outstanding number. It's not that we need more submissions. I know that it's people really want to put their best foot forward and want to really spend some time, doing their submissions well. So we want to give everybody an extra week. So that means we will be closing submissions on August 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So please get your submissions in. We won't extend it any further because we want to make decisions as quickly as possible. We want to be able to let everybody know by August 20th if they have been selected or not. So get them in. And yeah, I mean, I've been really just astounded by the quality of the submissions too. So yeah, we're making it more difficult for ourselves when trying to choose the favorite sessions that we have, and it'll be a bit of a tug of war between all the business groups as to who should be given those passes.
Right. I mean, and it's great for those that found themselves running up against the deadline or suddenly got busy or family vacations prevented them
Mm-hmm.
from really getting into it when they wanted to.
Yeah.
Great to have it extended, but at the same time, Ignite is. I kind of witnessed some of this last year. It is a big machine to plan. It takes a lot of months to plan leading up to it, so you really can't extend too far. Awesome news though, August 11th. So for everybody that has not submitted but really wanted to, you've got one more week, and do not procrastinate any
Yes.
longer. So,
Because it
so
is
let's
a
talk
pretty
a brief
compelling.
recap about.
Yes. Sorry, I was just going to say,
It,
like, to just to remind people, like to submit and to be selected means that you also get a full conference pass, and you get 6 nights hotel accommodation, and you also get your flights covered. So it's a really good package. We really want to make sure our speakers get an amazing experience the entire week. Not only do they get to speak and be a part of some amazing sessions, but they also get to absorb a lot of the Microsoft Ignite experience. I mean, Josh, you've been to multiple Ignites now. It's something you just need to like wallow in. You can't
yeah,
trying to work at the same time is almost impossible, right?
it is, and I know people do, and they find times and little cubby holes to do it. But there is so much information, so many networking opportunities for a solid week.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit of getting to go there and having everything covered is a huge deal. So definitely a lot of incentive as a speaker. Um, so on that note, if you are thinking of it and haven't quite made up your mind what you're doing yet, let's recap what the opportunities are for people to submit. There's a couple different
Yes.
types of submissions, and the first few types fall into a category where the audience that can submit is a little more limited, and that would
Mm-hmm.
be MVPs, regional directors, and Microsoft certified trainers. Can you
That's
tell us a bit
correct.
about what those opportunities are for people in those categories?
Yeah. So we have 3 specific opportunities for those communities that you mentioned. There are breakout sessions, which are 45 minutes in length. And then we have community theatre sessions, which are 20 minutes in length. And the third one is exam prep sessions. We've always asked our MCT community to submit for that, but we've had it as a separate process. But considering that they're also eligible to submit for breakouts and for theatres, we wanted to put it in one central bucket. So specifically to note, only MCTs are eligible for exam prep sessions, which makes a lot of sense. They spend a lot of time to help people get trained up on the certifications and know them intimately. So highly recommend that if you belong to any one of those communities, take a look at the submission form, have a think about the sessions that you want to submit for.
Yeah, that's a natural fit on the MCT side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a difference there. Last year, you had these longer sessions for the breakouts, and we're looking at 45-minute sessions this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
if that was maybe you're someone who has thought of submitting previously and you were a little scared of trying to make it to 75 minutes, 45 minutes is a little more workable in terms of putting together a solid presentation. So
yes,
there's that to think about as well.
Yeah.
So what about folks that are not in that category? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're aspiring to be in that category one day, or they're for whatever reason they would like to speak or like to be involved in the community in some kind of way, especially at an event like Ignite. What are the opportunities that they've got to submit?
Yeah, there's lots actually, and I don't think we've ever done this traditionally, opened up community opportunities for the public. And so we've got 3 specific opportunities. The first one is to host unconference sessions. So these are interactive sessions. They're not your traditional conference session where you expect to see someone at the front of the stage presenting and then having some Q&A afterwards. These unconference sessions are designed with interaction with attendees in mind. So think about like the best workshops you've ever been to, or any session where most of the time you are working in small groups to solve a problem or to have a discussion. That's what unconferences are all about. There's no one way to do an unconference, but just think that for us, we really want to make sure that we're allowing attendees to connect with each other, to not just be sitting in a row of chairs and then get up to leave once the session's over. It's really designed to get people together at round tables to discuss a particular challenge that they're facing. It can be focused on tech. It can be focused on diversity and inclusion. We're accepting all sorts of submissions. So yes, Unconferences is that first opportunity. It's open to all. And the second one is podcasts. So if you have a solid back catalogue of podcasts and you talk about tech a lot, and this is a perfect opportunity for you. We're looking for experienced podcasters to have the opportunity to use our facilities, to go into our studio and record their content. And with getting a full conference pass, it means that you get an opportunity to absorb that full Microsoft Ignite experience for the entire week, go to the sessions you want to go to, share what you learned to your listeners, and maybe even get a chance to interview a favorite speaker of yours that you want to have on your show. We've had lots of people do that. If you go and search on anywhere you listen to your podcasts, search Microsoft Ignite, you'll see some people have interviewed Alex Simons from Azure AD, Julia White. So yeah, some really big names have been interviewed as part of podcasts recorded at Microsoft Ignite. And then the third one, Josh, you're very familiar with this role because you were a community reporter last year. So yes, we're holding open auditions for community reporters, and we select 10 each year from the community. And these are people who do a lot of work to make our live stream show an awesome, entertaining set of sessions. And there are some key differences from what you did, Josh, in last year. In that last year you were focused on doing a lot of interviews as part of the first day one live stream, and then you did a lot of interviews the rest of the week with people that you had cherry picked, but none of those were live streamed. We recorded them, we posted them on YouTube, but this year we're going to have a full week-long live stream show.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I'm not the executive producer, so I don't have to figure that out and how to fill that time.
Good on you.
But I need to, I can't do everything, but it will be a really fun show. We'll have lots of great segments planned. So the chances that you will get to interview the execs, people in the community, attendees, get exclusive backstage access so people can see through the live stream what the behind the scenes experience is for anyone who wants to understand what planning Microsoft Ignite is all about. There's some really fun things that we can do. Like the community reporters bring a lot of great life and vibrancy to the show because, we're tech. We know we can be a little dry sometimes, but community reporters add so much personality to the show. And so it's probably because of people like you, Josh, that we're extending it out to an entire week.
That's awesome. And personality definitely should be one of the key words that comes away from my experience with that last year. It was so many great personalities across the Microsoft portfolio of products and people that came out and did that. It was a really good time. Before I dive too much into that, because I really want to spend a few moments reminiscing there. That is open to everyone, not just MVPs.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone has the opportunity. Yes. And I've already got a couple people in mind that are actually some newly minted MVPs that I know are playing around in video these days. And I think congratulations to you people. You guys, that was awesome yesterday. But this is a great opportunity to get out there, to expand your ability to get to know the product group that you work with, et cetera. So awesome. So those are the opportunities we've got for the first group, MVPs, RDs, and MCTs. And then we got those 3 opportunities open to everybody. The thing I love about those second set of opportunities is that there is so much flexibility and creativity allowed. Like you mentioned, especially with those unconference sessions, it doesn't have to be technically focused. If you are in tech, but your passion is diversity in tech, or your passion is talking about career building, there are groups that you can create to do that kind of stuff. And so I love those opportunities. The podcasting facilities from last year were just phenomenal. So it was quite an experience to have all that stuff there. The big fishbowl glass room where you could do recording in, and then the podcasting section. There was a lot of really cool things. I'm excited to see what's in store at Ignite this. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about the community reporter thing a bit more.
Yeah.
It's cool for me to hear that there's some changes, and I can only imagine what that schedule is going to look like to do a full week of live stream. Good luck on that. That'll be a feat for sure. But I want to share my experiences and then kind of maybe get some of your thoughts and things you heard from other community reporters, maybe not just last year, but the year prior to that as well. That stuck out to them and that they relayed to you is why this is so beneficial, why it's a good opportunity. For me, and again, I'm going to say thank you for the millionth time for letting me be involved in that last year. It was an amazing opportunity, very busy opportunity, but very rewarding at the same time. One of the first things about it was I already mentioned the exposure to people in the product group or beyond that you work in that you might not normally talk to or get a chance to talk to. This is a great chance for being connected with the right people who can set up those interviews, have that sit down time, be able to ask them some of those burning questions, staying relevant, right? But it's a great opportunity to be able to talk to them and get their perspectives. So that was one that stuck out to me. 2, as an MVP, it can be very easy to get to know other MVPs in your area, right? I know all the MVPs in the Microsoft UC space, Teams and Skype for Business, but almost nobody in Azure or anywhere beyond the Teams and Skype for Business space, at least until last year. This chance was you guys really did a good job at picking 1 or 2 people from each product area that specialize in that and letting us all get together. And it wasn't just us doing our individual things. There was a lot of collaboration that happened. We worked together day in and day out. You really got to know these other individuals, these personalities. And it was so great to get to know people, not just from around the globe, but in other product areas to get their perspectives. I loved that piece of it. It was really unique. And then the third thing I want to throw in there is if you are into video, if you're into doing webcasting and doing interviews, putting stuff out there, and you found yourself in the past wishing for some really cool setups, maybe getting on a big stage where they have cameras that zoom down into you, or being in a professional production glass bowl where you're sitting in director's chairs. And that just seems so far off of something you'd ever be able to do. That was kind of how I felt last year, and I got to do all those things, and it was such a blast. You and I got to sit up on the big screen together and actually have a back and forth, and that was a lot of fun.
I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
It was.
I mean, the experiences are really amazing. I think one of the great benefits that you have gotten from being a community reporter is actually we invited you to be a speaker as well. So, and that was to recognize all your hard work too, because I felt that there was an opportunity cost that came with being a community reporter. You have to spend so much time collaborating ahead of the event, let alone during the event, that sometimes you miss out on just being a regular attendee or just even a regular speaker. So I made sure that every single one of our community reporters from last year got a chance to be a speaker, just a regular speaker, no strings attached, at Microsoft Ignite. So I think that's something that I haven't made very explicit in the call for community reporters. Yeah. So for many people, I think they're hesitant to play that community reporter role this year because I've explicitly said that if you do become a community reporter, you aren't going to be able to deliver a breakout or a theatre session. And that's deliberate because we're asking for a week-long commitment rather than just, that day one live stream and then doing some side interviews for the rest of the week. This is a different ball game entirely. And so I really want to offer anyone who does become a community reporter in 2019, they will get invited to speak in 2020. So, so that's something that we want to do. I know it's a lot of work, and that is to recognize that. But yes, it's
if I'm calling this out correctly here, for community reporters, then what they can look at if they are selected, they can look at being admitted to Ignite 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
There you go. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that's a pretty big deal for people that didn't quite realize or think that was the thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, to submit, this is a little different than going in and filling out a form in a wizard. And how do people submit to be a community reporter?
Yeah. So, I mean, in order for me to understand who you are and what you're about, I need to know what your personality is like. You're going to be on camera and you're going to have a bright, shiny light in front of you, and you need to be able to think on your feet when, suddenly you're brought on earlier because the other live feed didn't quite work. So you just have to be on call and ready to just take the question and direct it to your guest. It takes quite a talent. I mean, I think, in our wallows after Ignite, we all talked about what we could have done better. And many of you were like, I would have loved to have actually practiced more how to interview, because there is a fine art to it, right? Just, trying to avoid interrupting people, placing the questions, navigating the second and the third question after that, because you're trying to build a narrative through the interview that you're doing. It's really fun. You really stretch your muscle on public speaking, but it's slightly different because there's not exactly a huge audience in front of you. You're really tailoring content for short, snackable consumption. But like you said, the networking, the connections that you make as part of taking that role are kind of connections that you somehow wouldn't even imagine you would be able to make, I mean, right. Who was your favorite interviewee from last year, Josh?
Oh, that's a hard one. That's really hard. I got to interview Lori Wright, but that was not at the event. The schedules didn't work out, and she had to leave. But we connected afterwards and did a remote interview, and that was great. But being there, doing the interviews in person, I think it was. I'd say Ann Michaels was probably a really fun interview to do. She has so much energy and passion about what she talks about, and lays it out so clearly and with so much passion that it makes interviewing easy. It's like a natural conversation, right? And so I enjoyed that video. That was a good interview to do. So
No, it's so good. I mean, and the one thing that I really want people to take away from our conversation today is that we are not kidding when we say everyone. We want people from all different backgrounds. And we were very careful in the first 2 years to try and handpick for diversity not just of, gender and, country of origin and a bunch of other dimensions, but also expertise too. It was so hard to even get down to 10 people that I hand selected to play this role. And now I'm kind of throwing caution to the wind and opening up to anyone to apply. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, more women apply, to seeing people from neurodiverse backgrounds, to hearing from people with different abilities, people from all walks of life, people from all countries, because we are, like I said, offering a full meal deal of an offer. We're going to cover your flights to and from Orlando. We're going to cover your hotel accommodation in the priority hotel that's closest to the convention center, so you don't have to worry about the shuttles. Oh, it's a huge deal. You don't realize how far Orlando stretches, right? Yes, and along with the conference pass. So, we really want to make sure that we're like Microsoft, and I'm sure people have noticed this, but it bears repeating. We're really committed to diversity and inclusion, and that covers across all of our programs, all of our events, and Community Reporters is no different. So if you're thinking that, Microsoft could do a better job of, having more diverse perspectives as part of our Community Reporter lineup, and you think you have something to offer in that space, please audition. It's an open audition. We want you to record a video of yourself. If you have time, it'd be great for you to record a video of you interviewing someone. It could be your kid daughter. It could be anybody. I mean, we're open for creativity. We want to see your personal style as well. I mean, Rick Hepworth has an amazing bow tie collection. So, if you've got something like that, you should show that off. If you have amazing hair, that's great too. Use what you've got, work it. But we really want to see you be your true, authentic self. We don't want you to feel like you have to be a super stiff reporter. That's not what we want. We really want to see your personality shine. That's why we're recruiting you. So, make sure that you do that in your audition.
Great points. Great feedback for people. So, just to echo that, if you've even begun to think about the idea at all, it does not hurt to apply. Put it out there. It is a fun opportunity. It is one that you just won't get another opportunity like that again. And so, the benefits that Anna has laid out today are, I mean, they speak well for themselves. So,
and you get to come to 2020, which is amazing. So,
2 years in a row because you did one. That's awesome. So, I'm looking forward to seeing who that crew is. I kind of almost feel like I should have put together some sort of memories montage for this. I'm starting to miss the whole crew from last year talking about it.
Actually,
but
if you do want to check out last year's video content, go to the Microsoft Tech Community YouTube channel. And I've created a playlist just for last year's Community Reporters. Every single interview we recorded is right there. So if you want to get a better idea of what your experience will be as a community reporter, that's the best way to see what it's like.
That's perfect. No, I'm probably going to be stuck there for a while today, but okay. It was so much fun. I had a blast. So great. Well, thank you for taking the time to come on and make this awesome announcement that everybody who was maybe delayed gets a slight reprieve. But no further than that. August 11th. Keep track of that date, everybody. August 11th. And we're looking forward to seeing what comes out of all those different speaking opportunities this year. And I hope in the midst of your busy schedule, we'll be able to briefly connect again there. But really appreciate you coming on and talking about it today. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, Josh. I would love to be part of your podcast again. I would love to talk about, once we've selected our speakers, let's talk about what makes an amazing session, because I mean, that's the first hurdle that you've crossed, right? Once you get selected as the speaker, then the next hurdle to try and cross is how to make sure that your session was the most amazing session that anyone could have attended, right?
Because there is a competitive element. People go and compare scores, and they, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. To have a follow up interview. That'd be fun. We'll have
Let's
to
do that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Anna. We'll see you in a couple months.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Talk to you soon.